proud of this. Absolutely. And if you're a man or woman and you want to look like a beefcake going, look at me, I look sexy, I respect that. But when you come out and say, I wasn't trying for that, yet it's everything, does that make sense what I'm getting at? That bugs me in the social media stratosphere. I'm like, stop, just stop.
I do have to pull back from some photos. I'm like, I can't. That was
Really?
a little too risque.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, now I want you to start posting this out. It's like Richard Risque on social media.
But I mean, like, you know, some photos are like, it's a little much. It's not appropriate.
Right. Sure.
I posted one of my boxers the other day standing in front of that same window.
Oh, really?
It was in my story. And I was like, I look really fucking hot. So I decided to share it. It got some interesting.
Guess I didn't see that one.
Well, here, I'll show it to you.
Oh, please do.
Nice.
No, but the lighting was great, and I was looking good, and I'm like, damn. Let's see, where is
shit?
that?
I that's no different than last night while we're busking. One of the guys. Oh, I did see that one. You did look good in that one.
Yeah, no, it's
what
a
I like
great
is
shot.
The lighting's so perfect that you see almost every bit of the muscle and the definition.
Right.
And it's not gratuitous. You just see the.
And I
film.
was like, this lighting is really good. I'm gonna take a photo. Oh, this looks really, really good. I want people to see this. But why do I want people to see that? Like,
right?
What is that motivation for?
Who gives
So
a shit?
so
it's because you want to.
So
That's
you're
what it's for.
outperforming now.
Oh, we are outperforming. We're next weekend we have a double booking day. Saturday we play in Grapevine, Texas at Hoppenstein Brewing from 1 to 3. Then we drive to Arlington and play the feature show on the stage at Troy's from 9 to 11. So it's kind of cool.
And how does the mask stuff work right now? Does it or does it not? Or have people just let it go?
Most venues people are not masking. You will see some people come in and mask up. Last night on the street, you know, we took it into our own hands, and most people weren't masked up. And I had, you know, it's cool when you do a lot of these kind of things. You'll get people who will tell you they're musicians, come and talk to you, and you always take that with a grain of salt. I'm sure maybe as you do when people even say that they work out. I don't care what level of musician you are, much as I'm sure you don't care what level someone's
exactly.
at.
Yeah.
This guy ends up being. He starts throwing out, hey, I played with Dwight Yoakam. I've done these kind of things. And you're usually like, okay.
Sure.
Well, then he pulls, and I mean, the thing that got me, he said, I played on the stage of the Ryman. Are you familiar with the Ryman is? The Ryman is like hollowed ground in Nashville for if you are a country music superstar, you've played there. It's an old church that they've converted. Son of a bitch, the guy pulls out a picture of him. There he is with all these famous people on the stage of the Ryman. I'm like, shit. And he was super nice. You know, he starts telling me, I told Shelly, I was like, I got the nicest compliment on my singing. He said, do you know that you have a little Jackson Brown about your voice? I was like, I didn't, but thank you. And you get these moments, right? However, he was literally right in my face.
Oh.
And I'm like, you know, I've had all my vaccinations and we're awful close. But the weird thing is, even beyond that, I went shopping yesterday to do some stuff, and I went into stores. No one was wearing a mask. So are we just abandoning them entirely?
Well, I mean, we're now in June, and the mask mandates have started to fade away. We were at a 52% population being vaccinated, I think, total, and with something like 60% of adults. And everybody's kind of relaxing, and it just feels like such a weird movement from just a year ago not being able to do any of this at all.
Yeah.
And now we're comfortable. And the thing is, I'm comfortable in environments like this where I know that the three of us are fully vaccinated.
Right.
There's still some distance between us. We're
Absolutely.
not necessarily on top of each other having our conversation. But when I get back to the store, I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people walking around that I don't know
Yeah.
over the course of the day, whether they're
Right.
vaccinated or not vaccinated. I'm trying to keep a little bit of distance now, more distance than I used to with people. So I don't want anybody in my face.
Yeah.
And but where do we go? I mean, our audience right now might be going, you know, we're all totally maskless now, and it's great, and we're hugging and making out with random people and not catching the COVID. Or maybe we're to the point of, hey, variants have gotten really, really bad, so we're having injectables again, so we can, you know, get our boosters. And I don't know. Who knows where we're going to be
that
soon.
whatever it goes to, that because I'll walk in, like I said, and I see people without masks. And I see people looking at me with masks. Now, we all create a narrative in our head, like, did that person just look at me? You know, just think
Right.
that. And that's my bullshit. I've created that in my head, and I get that. I just hope that we're all tolerant. That if I see, and this is for me too, if I see somebody maskless, that I'm not judging, And I hope that if they see it too, they aren't judging as well. If we can just all kind of be like, okay, this is where I'm going to go and going to be, unless it starts getting bad again.
I'm still a little judgy sometimes in some spaces with
it's
people
hard not
with
to be.
mask less.
Yeah.
For sure. And I'm becoming to respect people with masks if that's what they need to do for themselves, because again, we don't know anybody's medical history.
True.
We don't know what they deal with at home or who they're dealing with at home. So if their choice to wear a mask to provide an extra layer for themselves or in social situations, I don't have any issue with it. I'm if anything, I'm fine with it. I can, and I don't judge them based upon their age or their gender if they're wearing a mask now, because I don't know what their health situation is.
I do judge people if they don't know how to wear a mask, though.
Yeah,
Okay,
well, that's
that's
true.
about
Yeah,
to
with the
show.
nose
It's been a
being done.
goddamn
Yeah.
year covering your nose.
Yeah, I agree.
So
we found one.
I may have told this story early on, but I'll say it real quick that there was, during the early stages of the pandemic, I had to stop somewhere to buy something. The people in front of me started throwing a fit about having to wear masks, and this guy and the woman behind him were like, well, we're from this state, and we kind of laughed at y'all that you're still wearing it. The woman behind the counter, behind a plexiglass thing, wearing a mask, I get up there and she's like, I'd seen her eyes look at me wide, and she said, I'm sorry, I know I shouldn't have looked at you, but I was freaked out because my brother-in-law just had quadruple bypass surgery. He has to stay away from this. It could kill him, and I'm one of his primary caregivers. And I thought, you two assholes, you're selfish shit. You didn't think about the struggle she has and how you could help her. And we all talk about that kind of attitude that we should help each other, but so rarely do we ever think, you got shit that I don't know that you're going through, and I need to be considerate of it.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons I keep it on as much as now. When I sing, you can't. You just can't. But even when I'm on stage, I'm 10 feet away from people, and so I'm hoping that doesn't do anything to them.
We have a plexiglass kind of a piece of on the counter now that separates the person from the register from the person on the other side of the register. We have one employee that's got maybe a week left to be fully vaccinated, to be at that 100%. When he is fully vaccinated, the staff and I are going to have a conversation. What do we want to do?
Okay.
We're moving into territory where daily I have to tell people, hey, we're still doing masks. Hey, we're still doing masks. And I haven't had any issue with anybody.
But that's on your door, right?
It's on our door that we have masks, but people still just kind of wandering. Oh, I don't have one. I don't have any spares right now. And people typically go back and get it out. Again, they don't know where we're at. I mean, it's easy for me to say, and I had to say it a couple times. I said, not everybody on the staff is fully vaccinated just yet.
Right.
Or we do have kids coming in right now, and until that moves a little further along, we're not comfortable having everybody mill about while kids are unvaccinated.
Sure.
But when he's vaccinated in a week, fully vaccinated, it's a conversation the staff and I have to have. Where do we want to take this? What do we want to do?
Right.
I honestly, for me personally, could see us relaxing the mask mandate in the store in a week, letting people who want to come in without masks come in without masks, leaving the plexiglass up as a barrier.
Right.
But I see myself putting my mask on anytime a customer wants to have a direct conversation with me that's not somebody that I already interact with personally, like Sean.
Right.
Like if somebody wants to have a conversation or they want me to come out to the floor, I will probably put a mask on to come out and talk to them.
So we got the word the other day that we're going back to the office full time in October. And I've wondered, I sit in a cube when I'm at the office. And so I have a distance and I have a wall between me, but I've wondered because in the technology sense, you go into a server room and you're in there. It's a very clean environment to begin with. But at the same time, I've thought, okay, but are we going to wear masks or what are we doing? Because there are one or two people that I don't know what their vaccination situation is. So I wonder how many people are going to have those discussions like you're talking about. What are we doing? Are we going to broach that subject before we step into this?
And do we have enough data now to say that fully vaccinated people are able to be around each other? And we still have a percentage of people that are not vaccinated.
Yeah.
They're just being cavalier about running out and, hey, I'm just going to hang out with people I'm totally vaccinated.
Everybody else is doing it, so I don't have to.
Right. So I'll be safe because everybody else is vaccinated.
Well, and how many of those people do we have that the disinformation that goes along with vaccinations that's still...
I know we talked about this a couple weeks
ago. Hundreds of years of scientific research can be poo-pooed by doing one search on Google. I found this person in this one place who's saying this about whatever. That's where the narratives where I'm not considerate, that when it gets into that, I'm like, oh, that I can't talk to you. That just bothers me. Okay, this may be
We've
the
run all
longest.
over the place, yeah.
Yeah, it's been all over the place, and this may be one of the longest in betweens you got. Plus, we're now 24 minutes away from our interview, so we'll tease it again. We're talking today, and you'll see it later on. William Conlon, the director of Making Apes. It's the story behind the creation of the ape makeup for the films. We're going to be speaking to him about his documentary. So we're going to wrap it up. Say everyone have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.